the Jalapeno Popper. If there's a more popular appetizer, snack, whatever you want to call it, at a party, at a barbecue, at a picnic, I haven't seen it. And there's several ways you can do jalapeno poppers. I've done them deep fried and breaded. I've done them bacon wrapped out on the grill. But today we're going to be doing it inside in the oven. Super easy method, doesn't take a long time. So let's get to it. So I've got a bunch of jalapenos here, and these are some pretty good sized ones. And I need to start breaking these down, cleaning them out. So we'll use this one for demonstration right here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to kind of find the way that your jalapeno popper will lie or not lie. So if you put it like this, it's going to want to roll. So what we actually want to do is find that spot and cut along that to make two halves. Now I've done this before where I've only used the whole jalapeno to stuff. I've sort of made a cut and made almost like a little canoe and stuffed that and put the other top back on. But we're going to be doing this kind of traditional where you just cut it in half. Now, not both sides are going to have a stem because, well, I can't split that stem exactly down the center. But let's see where this one goes right here. So it kind of looks like it curves right here. So what I want to do is cut this way so that the two halves will lay flat on the rack that we're going to put these in the oven on. So first thing I want to do is I'm just going to kind of go on one side of that stem over here, straight down, get a good cut. Now these two halves will just lie like that. They won't roll around. They're not going to be too wobbly. So that's what we're going for here. Now let's clean this out. Just got a plate here and a spoon. And this to me is really the simplest way to do this. You just go in there with the spoon, dig out the seeds, the ribs. A lot of times this will all come out together, but not every time. And it helps if you have a smaller spoon too to really get in here and scrape that. Really clean it out. Let's get this side done. And when you're working with peppers, gloves are a really good thing to have. If you're not wearing gloves, make sure you don't touch your eyes, anywhere else sensitive. Wash your hands really good. It can be uncomfortable. Ask me how I know. Actually, don't ask me. So this is what we're looking for. Now, obviously at the ends here, you're not really going to eat these because it's sort of the stem, but that's sort of the idea of it. When you're serving it after it's all stuffed and wrapped up in bacon, because these are going to be bacon wrapped, you kind of hold it like this, yeah, eat it that way. It's somewhere to actually grab onto. Let's do another one. Let's find our spot here. I think it's right here. We're trying to get it as close to evenly half as possible. Get in here and get our seeds out. Scrape it down. And if a couple seeds get in there and kind of get stuck and you don't find them, well, be a little extra hot. Get this half. Sometimes jalapeno juice will squirt in your eye, which it just did for me. It's not too bad, but in a minute I'm gonna have to wash that eye out. All right, that one's looking good too. I'm gonna finish cleaning the rest of them and I'll bring you back when it's time to make our filling. Now, fillings for poppers can be just about anything you want, but traditionally it's some sort of cheese. A lot of people will use like a cheddar cheese, or really the one I've seen the most is just straight cream cheese. Well, today I'm going to be using cream cheese. I've got 8 ounces of cream cheese here that's been softened. I sat it out at room temperature for about 20 minutes. And what I'm going to add to this is about, I don't know, 5 ounces or so of a pepper jelly. This is a hot and sweet pepper jelly that I got at my local Trader Joe's. You don't have to get this specific one. I've seen different pepper jellies. You can use anything you want. You don't have to do this. You can add any flavors in here you want. Make this your own. But we're going to mix these together. So I want to give about half of this because this is an 11-ounce jar. Right about there. I'm just going to mix this together now. Use whatever I can here. If I need a stiffer spoon, I will. Could use a mixer if I wanted to here. But really, it's just about taking the time, breaking this down. Cream cheese could have been a little softer. I probably could have let it sit another 10 minutes, but it'll work. I'm actually going to get in here with a fork and really just sort of mash this and mix it. If it gets soft enough, you could actually use a whisk, but I think with this consistency right now, a whisk, it would just stick to the inside. And it doesn't have to be fully blended. You just want to get those flavors mixed in. You're still going to see pieces of that pepper jelly, those peppers in there. Scrape our fork off here. A little more mixing. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and fill our poppers. So here are a couple of our jalapeno halves, and I'm just gonna demonstrate here filling them. This isn't rocket science, but you know, you wanna try and get it right. So you take a spoon, you know, just fill it as best you can. Some stuff's gonna fall out, it's all right. And you can fill it as full as you want. Let's get these little stragglers here. Pile that a little higher back here. If you need to use different spoons, go ahead. Now it's bacon time. So what I like to do is I'm just gonna start here at the stem end. And I wanna bring it over the top, and then I'm just gonna work my way down here. And it looks like we're gonna need another piece of bacon. We'll go with another little half piece right here at the end. Just go around. Then we're gonna take a toothpick, and we have our end right here, and we're just gonna go at an angle, because this is gonna be the bottom side here, and I don't want that toothpick to be holding it up so it doesn't lie flat. Just like that. Let's do another one. Start filling it up. Get a nice piece of bacon here. Looks like we're gonna be going 1.5 pieces each here. Nothing wrong with that. Another toothpick. Just wanna pin that bacon in place, just like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish filling these. I'll bring you back when it's time to get them in the oven. So here are our bacon wrapped pepper jelly jalapeno poppers. I decided to do 10 of them. Don't count how many are actually on the tray. You don't want to know what happened to number 10. Now my oven is preheated to 375 degrees, and these are going to go in for probably 15 minutes or so, but every oven is different, and it's really about the doneness that you want on your bacon. That heat will just have enough time to get in there, kind of melt the cheese a little bit, soften everything up, but it's really about the crispiness of the bacon that you want. And if you see cheese oozing out, that's just part of this. You've got a lot of oozy, gooey stuff in there that's good. Some of it's gonna wanna come out. And I have this on a baking rack in the baking tray. That just allows air to come up around it. I think it does a better job of crisping the bottom. You could do it on a tray, no problem, but I just find this works better. All right, let's go ahead and get this in the oven. Here are our poppers fresh out of the oven. Now that took 25 minutes actually. 15 minutes is sort of that first look time, and every oven is different. You've got to cook these to how crispy you want them. You know that I like bacon a little closer to AFS. If you've watched my videos, acceptable floppy state, that wouldn't be good for this. So these are a little crispier than I would normally have regular bacon, but this is as far as I would take these. Now I'm gonna let these cool for a few minutes, then I'm gonna take the toothpicks out, and then we're gonna have a taste. So I have a couple of our finished poppers here, and I'm ready to dive in. But one thing I want to mention is this is really one of those recipes that you can make your own. One of the things I've done before when I make the filling and before I put something like bacon on is I'll hit that with some favorite barbecue rub. This is what's great about this type of cooking is there's sort of a basic thing. You have the jalapeno, you have a filling, and you have the bacon. You can use any kind of bacon you want. You can use any kind of filling you want. It's really about making it your own. And this is about how I like it. So let's dive in. Here we go. This is perfect for me. I know a lot of people love the bacon a lot crispier. Go ahead and make it crispier, just cook it a little longer in the oven. But this is sort of a halfway point for me between AFS and crispy, and I think I nailed it. That pepper jelly is nice because there's a little bit of sweet, a little bit of heat, and the jalapenos actually aren't that hot. That's one of the things about jalapenos. I've had them where you taste them and there's just really not any heat there. You get a different one and it is packed with heat. So it is one of those peppers that doesn't across the board always give you the same thing. Right here, it's just fantastic flavor. All right, what the heck, I'm gonna go for the second one too. Really, really happy with these. Now there are exactly 6,784 ways to make a jalapeno popper. That's a scientific fact, I looked it up. This is number 5,312 in that list. These are going to be prosciutto wrapped jalapeno poppers with a mango cream cheese filling. Yes, mango. It's going to be terrific in here. A nice little bit of sweetness with the heat and that prosciutto wrapping around it. Once that hits the smoker, it's going to be fantastic. First thing, we got to get some jalapenos cleaned up. Now I got a couple here and I've got a bunch over to the side that I'll do off camera. But just like there are thousands of ways to make jalapeno poppers, there are a lot of ways to prepare the actual jalapeno. Some people like to leave the stem on, and I've done that before, but for these we're actually going to cut the very end off before we cut them in half and clean them out. So we're just going to take this stem off. And to cut these in half, what we want to do is we want to find where it naturally rolls to and just settles. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut along that because we want two halves that are going to rest on their own. So there's that natural point. Go down the center, and there we go. Those should rest easily on the grill just like that. You cut this other one. Let's find the natural point here. And you can see this one has a bit of a curvature to it, so we kind of have to look at that too. So we're going to go right here, just like that. And now we're going to clean these out. Easiest way is to get yourself a bowl and a little spoon that you can just scrape all of the seeds and the ribs and everything else out. If you want to leave some seeds in because you want that extra little bit of kick, that's fine. I like to clean them out as much as possible. And this is a good time to wear gloves. I know I wear them all the time, but if you're not wearing gloves, at least wash your hands after this and don't touch your eyes or anywhere else sensitive. You just keep working through here. They also have jalapeno coring devices. Those work well, but spoon's pretty simple and pretty much everybody's got a spoon sitting around. Sometimes it comes out easy like that one. There we go. I'm gonna finish cleaning the rest of the jalapenos, then we're gonna go on to making our filling and filling these. So for our filling, we're starting with 16 ounces of cream cheese that has been softened. All I did to soften this was leave the little containers out for about 30 minutes. Get some soft, may take a little bit longer, so you just have to kind of gauge how soft it is for you. And we are going to be adding mango to this, but also I want to get a little more flavor in here, so I'm going to add some barbecue rub. And what I'm using is KC style sweet barbecue rub from Q42. I picked this up, tastes really good, so I think it's going to be good in this cream cheese filling. Just going to shake some in here, I don't know, maybe a teaspoon or so? Really, this is totally up to you, and you could use any rub you've got or want or like, or no rub at all. Maybe even just some pepper. Now I'm gonna add about a quarter cup of diced up mango. It's not super fine dice, it's just little cubes. And we're gonna mix, and this is gonna take a little bit of effort because even though this cream cheese is softened, cream cheese is thick. So we're just gonna work everything in here, and if the mango gets mashed up, that's fine because it's gonna release its juices into this filling. That's what we want. You know what, change of plans. I got gloves on, I'm using my hands. This is gonna be much easier, much quicker. A little messier, but that's what gloves are for sometimes. And you can add your favorite fruit here. It doesn't have to be mango. I wouldn't use banana though. It'd be a little weird. This does feel a little weird doing it this way, but it's working. That's what I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and fill our jalapenos. So I have one of my jalapenos here, and I'm just gonna use a spoon to fill it. You can fill it any way you like. I'm not sure how else you would do it, but if you have a way, go for it. And remember, these are gonna be wrapped, so you don't have to worry about maybe smearing a little on the outside. It's not gonna be a bad thing. And if you wanna top it with a little extra mango or something, you can do that too. That's what I'm looking for. And now don't worry about the end here, any cream cheese coming out. There may be a little leakage, but we're gonna have this wrapped with prosciutto. Let me fill another one. Get a good amount in here. Press that down in there. Get a little bit more on the end here. Just like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these filled up, and then we will wrap them. So here we have 18 poppers. That comes from 9 jalapenos. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move some of these off to the side, and we're gonna wrap a couple, and then I'll get the rest wrapped up before we rack them to rest in the refrigerator overnight. You can see we've got some ones that are a little shallow and some that are, pretty big, like this one right here. Nothing wrong with that. Gonna be some variety. I think we'll save that one for wrapping, and maybe that one. And of course my cutting board's gonna be covered with cream cheese. All right, so I have a piece of prosciutto here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start at the end that's got the little opening. And I'm gonna bring this up and I'm gonna tuck this, just like that, because we wanna kind of close it off as much as possible. And then bring this around, and the prosciutto should be wide enough to cover most of these jalapenos in one piece. So you won't have to use two pieces, but you know what? If you do, you do. Just like that. Now, if the prosciutto, say, part of it ends in a strange place on the top here, we can pin it with a toothpick, no problem with that. You can see our end is sealed up pretty good. If there's leakage, there's leakage. That's normal, don't worry about it. Let me do another one. Same thing here. Gonna bring our top flap over and kind of tuck this in there. And with this, you can actually kind of roll it if you want. Get it like that. Bring our end piece over. See how it kind of splits, that's no problem there. We'll get enough coverage. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Look at this little piece right here. We're just gonna tuck this guy on top. He's gonna hang out. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these wrapped up, and I'll bring you back when it's time to get them on the rack and in the refrigerator. So here are all the wrapped poppers just resting on a tray on a rack. Now, why did I decide to do this and leave them overnight in the refrigerator? It's not for the usual reasons of wanting seasonings or anything to kind of meld. Really, this is just an easy way to do this, so the next day you can just throw them on the grill. You can make these the night before, or you can make them right now, take them out, throw them on the grill and smoke them up. The other thing is you could literally eat these right now. You don't have to cook anything here. The prosciutto is already cured. You got the jalapeno, the cream cheese, the mango, but we're gonna go ahead and smoke these up tomorrow out on the Weber kettle. But before these go in the refrigerator, I'm gonna hit these with a little bit more of that Kansas City style rub. Just a little shake here so we get a little more flavor on this. It's fun to experiment with poppers, try different things you wrap them with. I've done deep fried poppers before that are great. Wrapped them in bacon, ham. So really try anything you like. It's all about having fun and making food that tastes good. All right, these are gonna go in the refrigerator just to hang out, and I'll see you tomorrow out at the grill. All right, the Weber Kettle Performer is up to temp. I'm using the Mallory Firewall today and the Mallory Cast Iron Grate. I don't have a lot of charcoal in there because we really are not gonna have a long cook today. These poppers could be eaten without any cooking, but we're gonna get some smoke on them, and I'm gonna be using hickory wood today. So let's go ahead and get our poppers on. I'm just gonna arrange everybody and get everybody to fit here. The firewall ends right about here. So we have this nice indirect zone. And remember, if there's any leakage or any of the prosciutto peels a little bit, no big deal. It's all gonna taste great. Go ahead and get some hickory on for smoke. Just gonna throw a few small pieces on here because I wanna generate smoke quickly, because this is not gonna take long. So we'll come back in about 15 minutes and check these. I'm just gonna get the lid on. We're gonna let these get going. I'm just gonna play it by ear to see when these are done. Till I have the color I want, everything looked good, maybe a little bit of that cream cheese bubbling and leaking. We'll see. See you back here in 15 minutes. All right, we have been going 15 minutes. Let's take a look at our poppers. And just so you know, I'm gonna have a special guest taster today. Oh yeah, those are looking good. Yeah, I would say these are exactly the way I want them. Nice color on the prosciutto, little bit of darkness in some of these spots. You can see that peeling up. I can tell that the cream cheese in there is just softened. I don't want these jalapenos to be mushy. I want a little bite to them. So these are done. I'm gonna go ahead and get these off and we're gonna have a taste. So I mentioned a guest taster today and here he is. This is Justice, my daughter's boyfriend from Hawaii, and he's down here. They're gonna be moving to Atlanta, so he's here for a couple weeks before he and my daughter move. And he wants to taste a prosciutto wrapped popper. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, go for it, pick one.
This one looks good.
I'll take this one here. So should we do together on 3? Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's really good.
Whoa.
You like that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It is like crunchy. Like it did like crunch.
It's just a little soft, but it doesn't take away the bite. A little bit of that hickory smoke on the prosciutto, it's nice. I mean, it really took 15 minutes, that's all. You liking it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like totally easy to make. Like I said, you can make it the day before, put it in the refrigerator, throw it on the grill with some smoke for 15 or 20 minutes at 200, 250 degrees, because everything is already cooked or cured. You're just adding flavor. What's your verdict?
Yeah, these are really good.
Okay.
These are really good.
You're not just saying that.
No.
You're not just saying that because like you're staying here right now and I could kick you out or something.
Yeah, for political reasons.
So they're good?
Yeah.
All right.
They're really good.
Success. Now, jalapeno poppers are almost always a favorite appetizer, no matter what you're doing, whether it's a holiday party, a summer barbecue, or just a special time when you got friends over. So if you want to make jalapeno poppers, you have a lot of options. You could go straight cream cheese, you could do some sort of cheddar cheese, and you can add things to those cheeses, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be adding some cooked chorizo to our cream cheese and then filling the poppers and wrapping them with bacon. So let's go ahead and get these jalapenos prepped so we can get the filling in them, get them wrapped with bacon, and get them out to the grill. So I have 6 pretty good sized jalapenos here, so that'll give me 12 poppers. Let's go ahead and start prepping them. So what I want to do here is I just want to split this. Now, a lot of times people will leave the stem on. I'm not going to leave the stem on today. We're going to go ahead and take it off as close to the stem as we can, get that end off. Now, I'm using gloves when I'm prepping food. You should wear gloves if you're doing jalapenos, anything spicy like that, or be very careful. So now we have our stem end off. We're just going to go ahead and split it down the middle, just like that. Next thing I like to do is I just get a bowl here. This is sort of my trash bowl for these, and I just start scraping out the seeds and everything in there. If you want to leave seeds in, you can, but you're going to lose some room here for all the filling. And it does take a little bit of the heat out of here, but that's okay. So just until you get like that. Get another one here. And a spoon is just such an easy tool to use here. You might need a smaller spoon if your jalapenos aren't that big, but that's okay. Just like that, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the rest of these and we'll get on to mixing up our filling. Now for our filling, we're starting with 16 ounces of cream cheese. Now this may be too much, and if it is, I'll just fill a few more jalapenos off camera. And this has been softening at room temperature for about 45 minutes. That just makes it a little easier to work with. And to this, I'm gonna add about 5 ounces of pork chorizo. Now I fried this pork chorizo up and just let it cool a little bit. Now this chorizo needs to be fully cooked. You don't want to put raw pork chorizo in this because it may not fully cook out on the grill. The grill is really just to let that bacon crisp up and cook that to the level you want and warm everything up so it tastes great. Or if you were going to do this in the oven, I would do it at say 350 degrees, and you're going to do it until the bacon gets to the doneness you like. So we'll get our chorizo in here, and we're just going to start mixing this all in together here. It's going to take a little bit because this cream cheese, even though it's softened, you know, takes a bit to get everything mixed together here. Another way you could do this is you could actually put, say, the cream cheese in the poppers first, then put the chorizo on top of that and wrap it with bacon. So you have options here, but I'm going with the mixing it all together option. And again, you could use some sort of shredded cheese here, a cheddar cheese, any kind of cheese you want. Poppers are easily customizable. That's what I love about them. All right, our filling looks good. Let's go ahead and fill our jalapenos and turn them into some poppers. So here is one of my jalapeno halves, and what I'm going to use to fill this is just, a spoon. Get some of our chorizo cream cheese mixture. Get it in there. You can fill these as much as you want. I don't like to overfill them. That's about how I like them. Let me fill another one. Get our mixture in there. Spread it out. Get a little more on the end there. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these, and then we'll move on to wrapping them with bacon. So here are our filled jalapeno halves, and now it's time to wrap them with bacon. Couple things here. You may not get full coverage all the way around. If you want to, you might need more than one piece. You may get it done just fine. I don't really mind if that happens, it's going to be great. If you need to use a toothpick to hold the bacon in place, go ahead and do that. I've got toothpicks standing by. Remember, everything doesn't have to be perfect. If it tastes good and it pleases the people you're serving it to, it's a success. So let's take one of our jalapeno halves and a piece of bacon. And I like to start up here, and you can see this end. If you want to try and cover it, you can. So we've got that end covered. We're just going to kind of wrap it as good as we can here. See how much coverage we get. That looks pretty good. Let's do another one. So I'm just going to try and get a little flap over that end there. You can even kind of pull on the bacon a little bit to try and stretch it. It does have some give. So there you go. Now this one, because this flap is on the top, I may pin that with a toothpick. I may not. I'll decide out at the grill. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these wrapped up, and then I will see you out at the grill. So when we got out to the grill, I was going to talk about something, which was you can make those poppers the day ahead, refrigerate them, and then put them on the grill the next day. Well, as it turned out, I had to do that. I came outside, it started raining. Now I can grill in the rain, but I got a bunch of cameras here, filming in the rain, not a good idea. So postponed it till today. We've got some nice weather. The Weber kettle is up to about 350 degrees. That's the temperature I want it. So let's go ahead and grill up our poppers. So I have a tray on here to place the poppers. That's really nice for taking them off. I also have an ambient temperature probe in here, and we're just using the Weber charcoal basket today. We'll make everybody fit. Sometimes I like to hit poppers that are wrapped in bacon with a little bit of barbecue rub, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm using Simply Marvelous Spicy Apple Rub. Just a little dusting on top here. All right, let's go ahead and get our lid on, let these grill up. We'll probably check them in about 20, 25 minutes, just see how they're doing. All right, we've been going 25 minutes. Let's check our poppers, and we might give them a turn. Oh, those are looking good. And you can see we've got a little bit of oozing right here, which is totally normal. Now, when I said turn them, I don't mean turn them over. I mean rotate the tray. So I'm going to turn this tray 180 degrees. And remember, this is about the doneness of the bacon you like. I like mine, as I usually say, AFS, acceptable floppy state. But for these, I like to take them just a little bit beyond that. So I'm guessing we've got probably about 20 minutes to go. So we'll come back in 20 minutes and see if we're done. All right, we've been going another 20 minutes. Let's check these poppers, and I think I'm gonna have a taste, and I think I'm gonna have a taste right out here so they're nice and hot. Those are looking fantastic. And again, if you want your bacon crispier, cook them a little bit longer, or maybe at a little higher temperature, maybe 375, 400, but you gotta watch them. You don't want everything to overcook and everything to ooze out, but that is looking fantastic. I'm gonna choose one for a taste here. I'll go with this guy. All right, here we go. Oh man, that's good. That chorizo in the cream cheese just adds a nice little punch of flavor. These are so simple to make. Everything in them works. Couldn't be happier. one of the perennial favorites of appetizers, snacks, snackatizers, whatever you want to call it, are jalapeno poppers. There's a lot of ways to do them. Bacon wrapped is one of the most popular. I usually grill them up or smoke them up, but there is another way to do them that's a little more convenient, and a lot of people have these now. So today we're going to be making some air fryer jalapeno poppers. Now I've got my jalapenos here and I have a couple Fresno chilies. The Fresno chilies we're going to be cleaning up, chopping, and adding to our cream cheese filling, but I want to start with the jalapenos first. Now we're going to be doing these in halves, so each jalapeno is going to give us 2 poppers. Now we have the stem end. We could slice that off, or we could be bold and try and split it right down the stem end. I'm going to try and be bold here. So I'm going to try and go right through that stem. Not too bad. We'll clean that one up in a minute, but first let's get the rest of these cut. Might not work on all of them, but we'll give it a shot. They're all going to taste great. All right, pretty happy with that, but now I want to clean these out. And the way I like to do that, get a plate or a dish, get a spoon. I have different size spoons, so if one larger one doesn't work, I can use a smaller one. And I just like to get in here, scrape these out. Now, if you want to leave seeds in, you're welcome to, but you're going to have to clean out some of this space in here to make room for our filling, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and clean the rest of these up, and then we'll move on to the filling. So for our Fresno chilies here, we are just going to break these down. So I want to cut them in half first. Get rid of the stems. Split them down the middle. Clean them up just like we did the jalapenos. And again, if you want to leave some of the seeds in here to make that filling a little bit hotter, you can. Just want to take my chilies and give them a little bit of a julienne here. Got our little matchsticks here. We're just gonna dice these up a bit. Just like that. All right, let's go ahead and mix up our filling. So our filling's starting with 16 ounces of cream cheese. Now this has been sitting out at room temperature for about half an hour to soften up. Makes it a little easier to mix. We're gonna get our diced up Fresno chili in here. I'm also gonna add a couple teaspoons of honey, just to bring a little bit of sweetness to the inside when we bite into those poppers. And we're just gonna start mixing this. It's gonna take a while, even with softened cream cheese. It's pretty stiff, but just work at it. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's get our jalapenos out here and fill them. So here's one of our jalapeno halves. Just gonna fill it with our cream cheese filling, and then we're gonna wrap it with a piece of bacon. Many ways to do this, with spoons. If you've got it really, really soft filling, you can just use sort of a piping bag or a Ziploc bag with the corner cut off. And how much you fill it is really up to you. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start down here at the nose end, and we're just gonna work our way around. Try and get full coverage, but if we don't, we can always use more bacon or just accept it as it is. And to me, that looks pretty good. Let's do another one. Spoon it in, spread it around. I know some people like to put cheddar cheese and things like that in here. That's fine. If that's what you like, fill it with whatever you want. Oop, stem broke off, minor tragedy. Starting down here at the nose. And bacon will stretch a little bit, so you can pull on it to get a little bit more out of it there. Just like that. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these filled, and then we're gonna add a little bit of a seasoning on the outside. All right, so here are our 12 poppers. Now, once I season these are actually gonna go in the refrigerator for a couple hours. I like to do that to just let them sort of firm up before you then go ahead and bake them or air fry them like we're doing today. And the seasoning I'm using today is West Coast Shake from Cooking with CJ. So we're just gonna give these a nice dusting on top here. A little bit of extra flavor. And this rub is fantastic. If you haven't tried it, you should grab yourself some. I'll put a link in the video description so you can check it out. All right, these are going in the refrigerator, and I'll see you back here in a few hours when we air fry these up. All right, I have my air fryer over here, and we're gonna go ahead and get it preheating. We're gonna set our temp at 370. We're gonna set our time for 10 minutes. We're gonna let that preheat. All right, we're preheated. Let's get our poppers in. I'm probably gonna have to do 2 batches. We don't need to spray any oil in here because the bacon will give off its own lubrication. I'll bring you back as soon as it's time to check these at 10 minutes. Oh, those are looking good. Now, you have to take these to how you like your bacon done. I like mine, if you've watched my videos, you know, AFS, acceptable floppy state. Although in this, I do like it a little bit more. And in fact, I'm gonna let these go about 2 more minutes. Those are looking exactly like I want them. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get these out. I'm gonna fry up the other batch, and then we're gonna have a taste. All right, I've plated up some of our poppers here. It's just time to take a taste. Cheers. That is a fantastic popper. Completely easy. Personally, I love more smoke flavor, so that's why I like doing them out on the grill. But if you don't have the time for that, or you may not have a smoker or grill, this is an absolutely perfect alternative.